gist of it, really.
Okay. Were you carrying any weapons at that point? Did you have anything on you illegal?
I was not carrying a weapon at that point. Mr. Hayes had a handgun, pellet gun, or BB gun that he had purchased at Walmart in Southington.
When did you purchase that?
He had actually made purchase of that day prior, I believe it was, to this incident.
Were you with him when you purchased it?
I wasn't in the store with him.
And it was the Walmart in Southington.
In Southington.
Did you pay cash?
He went up to the teller and paid cash, yes.
Okay. So now you approached the house. No other weapons?
No other weapons, no. We approached the house and went around back to see who was, if there were any lights on or anyone was awake. At which point we noticed that the father was sleeping downstairs in the sunroom.
Which is where? In the front of the house side?
It's in the back of the house.
Okay.
We continued to do a walk around of the house, checking windows and doors, all of which were locked, until we came to the billiard door in the back rear of the house. It went down to the basement, which was unlocked. I opened it and proceeded down the steps and to find out that the door into the basement itself was also unlocked.
What time do you think this is now?
This is about 20 minutes. It's about 2:15 by the time I had made access to the house.
In the morning?
In the morning.
Okay, so now you're inside the residence.
It might be a little bit later. It might be closer to like 2:30 or quarter of 3.
Okay.
Vaguely. Sure. I had mentioned that I didn't think that I would be able to take on the father alone, and Steve had mentioned that he didn't think he could creep through the house quietly enough to get up close to him, and mentioned that maybe I should find a bat or an object of similar weight to club him with and to incapacitate him temporarily so that we could tie him up. So I proceeded down into the basement and happened to find a baseball bat leaning on the stairs leading up into the kitchen. I took that bat and I went up the stairway. Slowly made my way through the dinette area to the doors leading into the sunroom with the father lay sleeping. At which point I just stood there for a good 15-20 minutes, standing behind him with his bat and not wanting to hit him, not thinking that I could. I could see Mr. Hayes in the window motioning to strike him and get it over with and get it done so that we can move on. And
did you strike him?
I did.
Okay. And go ahead and tell us where and how many times you struck this man.
I hit him in the head with a baseball bat. He let out this unearthly scream. I couldn't take the scream. I've never hit anybody in the head with anything, with a baseball bat. I just kept hitting him until he finally backed up into the corner of the couch and quieted down and was just staring at me with wide open eyes. Just sheer confusion.
Was he bleeding?
Yeah, bleeding profusely.
Okay, so when he's on the couch curled up, and what happens?
Mr. Hayes was now tapping on the door window to my right, motioning for me to unlock the door. I gathered myself and unlocked the door, and he came in, and we argued for a minute as to who was going to tie him up. At which point we both ended up tying him. Mr. Hayes tied his hands and I tied his feet. And sat him on the couch. I had seen a cotton rope similar to what you would use to hang clothes for a clothesline, sitting on the top of the stairs, leading up to the kitchen. And retreat that created into 2 foot lengths, roughly, to find hands and feet with. So I tied his hands and feet, or I tied his feet. So he tied his hands and then sat on the porch, some portion of the couch, and asked us quietly what our intentions were, like what we wanted. And I replied that we were simply here for money. That once we have what we came looking for, that we'd be out of, we'd be gone. I had asked if there was anybody else in the house and how many. The homeowner mentioned that the 3 women were upstairs. At which point Mr. Hayes and I proceeded up the stairway. He with the BB gun, he with the bat, and both of us with rope, and the cookies of the rope. We passed the first daughter's room on the left-hand side, and went down the hallway to the master bedroom, where we were going to subdue the mother first and then the 2 children, only to find out that one of the youngest daughters had actually fallen asleep with mom watching TV in the master bedroom. Mr. Hayes and I walked into the room, and I to the daughter's side of the bed, and Mr. Hayes to the mother's side of the bed, at which point Mr. Hayes put his hand over mom's mouth and shook her gently awake, and I followed suit with the youngest daughters. They both had woken up. They were very confused as to what was going on, but very compliant. When told to roll over on their stomach, put their hands behind their back, and so we tied their hands and feet. We then left the room and proceeded back towards the daughter's room that we had passed, and walked in. And Mr. A stood over the oldest daughter with the handgun, and I shook her gently awake. She was a little more than a little surprised about what was going on, asking what we wanted and please not to hurt her. At which point I explained to her that we weren't here to hurt her, we were just here for money and that we'd be on our way. And she had said okay. When asked to roll over on her stomach, put her hands behind her back, she did so compliantly, and a tighter beat, and is there a center? Yeah.